So I'm going to be talking with Shaheed Brown, who spent over 6 years in isolation in Northern State Prison's Security Threat Group Management Unit, which the AFSC fought against bitterly. When they first opened it, we had something called the Gang Unit Monitoring Project, where we monitored every single person who was in it, who we were in touch with. It is another form of isolation to which we're opposed. Rashid, can you introduce yourself and just talk a little bit about your experience at Northern State Prison?
Yes, my name is Shaheed Brown. I'm 27 years old. I was sent to Northern State when I was 19 or 20. 19 or 20. 19, I believe I was 19. First sent to Northern State.
Did you go right into isolation?
Yes, and right into Security Threat Group Management Unit, which is basically everything ran in cages. You step out your cell, everything's just in the cage.
When you say everything, what do you mean?
Just when you step out your cell, a cage is built outside of it. Yes, cage is built outside of it. Walking to the shower, walking out in the yard, everything is in the cage. So
when you shower or when you have recreation, are you by yourself in that shower cage or in that
when you shower,
recreation cage?
When you're in outside in the recreation yard, you're there with everybody else in your that's in your gang.
Are you able to see other cages, other people?
Yes, the yard is broken into cages, so they have everybody packed inside the cage like sardines. So you have the Latin Kings in one cage, the Bloods in one cage, the Crips in this cage, the God Bodies in this cage, the Aryans in another cage.
And how many people in a cage?
As many as they try to fit in there. Sometimes it depends on how large your gang is. If it's around 20 people, sometimes they'll try to break it in to have, if they feel like people trying to rebel against them or something like that. But if it's mellow, they probably try to stick majority of that 20 in there.
So at 19, you were put in isolation. Can you describe the cage that you lived in and what you did during the day and how you felt?
My cell was, all the cells was small. It had a double bunk. You had a bunkie at that point, because at that time they were still in the figuring out stages of how they wanted to do things. So you was allowed a cellmate.
Was that a good thing or a bad thing?
It was a good thing, because for me, I was in the cell with my blood cousin, Kim Brown, who also served some years back there. And it was a toxic place. It was really just a toxic area. The prison was just a dangerous place, because you have just this tension that's built up. People just angry, angry at their conditions, but didn't know how to, didn't know where to place that anger. So they took it out on each other, and the guards encouraged, that, as long as it wasn't on them.
How?
By basically setting it up, things that if you wanted to harm somebody, you tip certain guards off, and they'll make it happen. But one thing everyone in there could vouch for is that as soon as the anger was directed towards them, that's when it was different. They tried to do things like,
As soon as the anger is directed towards the guard.
yes,
Yeah.
they'll do things like trying to spark that blood and Crip thing back up, that blood and Crip war, that Latin King and Crip war, and things like that. So,
And what would happen when it was sparked?
what amongst the gangs?
Mm-hmm.
People will resort to things like urine, feces thrown on each other,
Mm-hmm.
trying to stab somebody through the food court, like getting a broomstick and putting a knife, strapping a knife onto the edge of it so when you walk past, going to the shower, somebody trying to stab you, throwing hot stuff on you, and basically trying to jamming the doors, or putting, getting inside the officer's head where he opening the door while another prisoner is in the shower, and then they come out and you just have at it. A lot of knife work and people, a lot of stabbing stuff, jumpings, and it happened that way. Or if they make a mistake on the cages in the yard, where you got a rookie cop or a guard that's not used to working the yard. He don't know how to operate the cages properly and make a mistake. And now the cage is open with about 10 or more guys or 10 or less guys. And they just wait till when they start letting people back in. They let you back in the cage one by one. And when you get out that cage and they open that cage, them guys coming at you. They coming at you and they trying to hurt you. So.
Talk a little bit about your own survival. You said you were in that environment, that cage, for 6.5 years. Talk about your own survival.
Well, my survival, I carried a weapon on me 90% of the time. I had a lot. I was one of the ones that had more conflict with the guards than the convicts. I had my share running with convicts, but mainly I was just trying to direct my anger towards the guards. Like I said, I participated in beatings with convicts and gave orders for other convicts, beatings of convicts and stabbings. But after a while, it was just, my anger was just building up. And at that same time, I was experiencing things that never happened to me before, like nightmares. I was having these nightmares. I was having these fits of just crying for nothing. I didn't know why I was crying for, why I would get depressed, why I just break down and cry. And all that thing was building up so much that it was literally eating me up inside. I didn't know what it was. I didn't know why these things was happening. I hated that it was happening, that I didn't have any control over it. And that made me hate the guards even more. And at that time, we was transferred to single cells because things was happening with the guards. They wanted people. We started rebelling against the guards at that point. We had actually informed, I guess you could say, an alliance with other gangs, the Bloods, the Latin Kings, and we started going against them for the first time. And that was a really good moment.
Remember what year?
Around 2004. We started setting cells on fire, throwing feces on guards, and just trying to get in contact, trying to fight them any way in any contact we had with them, we tried to fight them. And that's when we was moved over to 4 Wing, which was worse because at that point you was not allowed television, you was not allowed a Walkman.
Was 4-1 was the punishment one?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they figured Delta wasn't strong enough for us. It wasn't harsh enough. So that's when they took us over there, took us to Fort Wayne. Like I said, you wasn't allowed television, you wasn't allowed radio, newspaper. Only way you got to receive books, unless your family sent it to you, and you traded with another convict. And I think at that point, our bond with other gangs grew more. It grew more because we realized everybody realized if we didn't stick together to some degree that it wasn't going to work out. So we made do, of the situation, and we got sidetracked by guards, with fighting each other again. But for the most part, we basically took a stand. Like in 2007, the conditions was getting worse because at this point the guards started retaliating back on us. Mm-hmm. And I can give you an instance. If you say something to the guards, they just got arrogant at that point. If you say something to them and you have to go to medical, every time you're escorted outside of that cage, you have to be, your legs have to be shackled, your hands have to be shackled. Mm-hmm. So I was escorted to medical one time, and I had a word. I had a word with a guard, and the guard, they took me to medical, and I kind of figured, and well, at that point I didn't figure anything was happening, but they started provoking me, and I came to the conclusion that they wanted me to try to just do anything just to get some get back on me. Mm-hmm. But I was wrong. They assaulted me right there in front of the nurses, and a guard punched me from behind. That's what started it. A guard had punched me from behind, and they started beating on me right there. Then when I got up, I was expecting the nurses to say stop, that's enough, mm-hmm. But they didn't. When I got up, she just casually said, "You need medical attention." Mm-hmm. Right there with my mouth and my nose bleeding. But I knew the routine, the depression, mm-hmm. with me occasionally think about suicide. Mm-hmm. It just made me more angry. It made me more angry. I was just at an angry place at that time. An extremely angry place.
It's no wonder. It's no wonder.
I just wanted I used to fantasize about even killing the guards, wanting just to do things like that. It was thoughts that was just crossing my mind. It was a dark place for me. It was definitely a dark place. It got to the point where sometimes it just felt like a grave. My bed felt like a grave. Mm-hmm. When the lights, when I cut the light out and I'm just laying on the bed, it just felt like a grave. It felt like I was never gonna make it out of it.
How did you spend a day?
I'll read, write some letters, play chess, call out chess. People, you create pieces, you write on a piece of paper, mm-hmm. You number it, and you play chess that way. And that's how my days went by, and fantasizing.
Shaheed, since you've been out, are you seeing impact? Are you seeing how the experience changed you?
Yes. It changed me. It changed me in a few ways. I never really got along with police, but now I can't stand it. Mm-hmm. I really can't stand it. I'm more isolated as well. I'm not really comfortable being in a large setting.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not, because I'm so used to being isolated that I don't like to isolate myself completely, but just large gatherings I'm not comfortable with. I really don't like it. I'm hoping, I'm learning how to express myself, because in there I'm so used to trust no one, you know, trust no one. And I couldn't really tell anybody about the things I was experiencing. Gene Ross was the first one about the only one. Yes, I'm pretty sure the only one I told about that feeling, you know, and that's how I eventually got my release. But as far as emotional wise, just expressing it, I'm still learning to do that.
You learned to do it very well.
Thank you.
What you describe is what I've heard hundreds of people describe, and you're talking about something that was done to you with deliberation. The purpose of those kinds of that kind of confinement, of that kind of isolation, is the breaking of a mind.
It was really, a lot of people were worse off than me, and this really hurt my heart. I'll never forget this. I'll never forget this day. When we actually came together, the Bloods, Crips, Latin King, everybody, we talked amongst ourselves around third shift one time, and we was like, enough is enough. They was just starting to beat us down, you know, and every time somebody went to medical, they came back and they got me. They got me with a mark show that they got them. And we was like, enough is enough. It was that amongst people walking around with just, people had abscesses, you know, that was just, they was in tremendous pain. The guards didn't want to do their job, so they was like, man, wait, you know, wait till another shift. And it was just things that was actually a guy died back there. Cause he was telling I remember him telling the guard something to that effect, that he needed his medication. The guard didn't take it serious, and I remember falling asleep, taking a nap, and a guy next door to me banged on the door. We was in single cell, and the guy banged on the door and said, "Yo, you know, that guy dead down there," and he was found in another shift. You know, the guard done that shit didn't even. He just took it as a joke, and I just seen him wheeling the guy out. They put him on the stretcher and got the guy in the body bag. And it was just things like that just angered us all. So we was like, you know, we're gonna go on food strike. No, we're gonna put our window blocks up and go on food strike until we get somebody down here. Cause that's one thing I realized that a guard hates to do. He hates to go run to his superior and make it look like he can't, you know, do his job. That he had to go run it, you know. When we have a problem with him, he don't want them looking at him like he can't control his wing. So we put our window blocks up, refused breakfast.
Tell her what that is, to put a window block up.
You know, some people put a piece of paper on their little window so the guards can't look in, or some people put a sheet, and that's what I was doing. I actually put a sheet in it's like the door and the way it's built, you can stick a sheet up there that'll hold it up there so the guards can't see anything in there inside your cell. So we did that. The whole wing did it. Every organization, every gang. And they came around, they couldn't get their first shift count. So they brought in a sergeant. The sergeant came, and they got hood leaders in there, so they came to my door, they came to a Blood door, they came to the leader of the Latin King door, and basically they was like, you know, y'all want to come out there and get y'all voice heard? That's what y'all want? We like, yes, that's all we want. So they was like, okay, get ready to come out. So we came out, they handcuffed us and everything, so they had me, head Blood, the head Latin King. It was just us three that came out. So we go and have a meeting with a sergeant, lieutenant, and the captain, and he has some officers around him. So he's like, "What's the problem?" We started telling him about everything, the mail. When the guards didn't want us, when they had a problem with us, they'd just get rid of our mail.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when the guard had a problem with somebody, they wouldn't feed him his food. They're like, "Well, now you're gonna go hungry." When they had a problem, they'd cut the toilet and sink off just to be spiteful. So we started telling them about these things. So they're like, "Okay, we're gonna work on that. First things first, y'all said y'all have people in there that's in pain that need medical attention. Yes, how we gonna get them out of there?" They said we'll be back. They said we'll be back. So get your guys ready and everything. We can get them out of there. So we like, okay, you know, 1-3 said, "But y'all gonna have them take the blocks down." We like, "Yes, we gonna have them take the blocks down."
Mm-hmm.
We come back, we instructed her, we all went back and, well, no, they said a guard was there. He said, "Y'all have a minute with y'allself to talk." So we said, "You know, what is this?" Well, that was my question. What is this? This a bluff? If they don't follow through what they said, what are we prepared to do? You know, I told them basically my people was angry and we was ready to go all the way. We wanted to fight. We wanted to fight with the guards. So they was like, everybody else agreed to it. The Latin King said his people was gonna, his gang gonna, you know, follow through with fighting them if things didn't go our way. And the Blood agreed to it. So we said, okay. We went back, told them put the blocks down. We told them, we didn't give them a demand. We said, "Can y'all please get back to us by lunchtime?" But secretly we told ourselves they didn't deliver by lunchtime. We was prepared to go all the way.
Mm-hmm.
So we never made it to lunchtime because when we came back, told them to put the blocks down. Probably like 20 minutes later, they had shut the whole prison down. We later learned, and they marched in there with riot gear on, and they said, "Get the leaders out of there." They wanted to get the same ones who had the knee, who came to the knee. They wanted us out of there, off the unit. So they came to a Blood guy upstairs and told him, "Put your hand through the food port. You know, put your hand through the food port." And at that, we already had it in our mind what we was prepared to do. So he refused, and they sprayed mace inside his cell, and they said, we order you again, put your hands through the food port." He refused. They opened the door, went right in. So after that blood was drawn, at that time the blood was shed, then we knew it wasn't no turning back. You know, so they came right down to my cell second. You know, "Mr. Brown, put your hands through the food port. Put your hands through the food port." They couldn't see inside the cell, so they opened the food slot and saying, "Put your hands through the food port." Sprayed them inside my cell. I had a wet towel in my mouth, over my mouth, and they closed the food port up. When I heard him say open cell 109, I was in 109. He said open cell 109. I heard him snatch it down and just began to fight with him. And they hauled me off. They had the cuffs on tight that it was cutting through my skin. And they was dragging me. They dragged me to the shower, put my face inside the water. But the guard was still punching me after I was out of after the camera went to the next cell. He was in there punching me. They took me to literally dragged me to special needs unit. They dragged me to the special needs unit where it was just like, wow. It was just, I thought we was living in another world.
Yeah.
These people was in another world. And it's like nobody, and I mean, they literally hurt me. I think I even wanted, I believe I probably did break down. I probably did break down at seeing these people like that. That when they didn't just, nobody gave two fucks about these people. They literally did what they wanted to these people. I seen guards beat on these people for kicks and laugh about it. You know, just, these people wasn't right. When they didn't want their medication, they hold them, they beat them, just unnecessarily beat them. And
one of the first reports I ever had of that was a man named Frank Hunter. And I in my head pay homage to him. He was an ADSEG, you know, special.
You know, they they brought 2 other guys over with me. The other 2 who was in the meeting, they brought us over. They kept us in the cell, nude, cold. I'm talking about those cells. You can literally put juices in there, and those things keep cold. How cold it was. They didn't feed us our food.
Ojiri Latulo once sent 2 collages of the specialties because they did the same thing. And
Yeah,
they do that. They'll put a person in special needs, and the collages showed forced restraint.
And it was just everything. They was on point down from even to the nurses, because when we asked the nurses, my head was split, and I asked them. I said, "Can I have?" And it was killing me. I said, "Can I have a painkiller?" They said, "Listen, they told us not to give y'all anything. They told us not to give y'all any pain medication. They told us not to even make. If y'all try to get us to make a phone call, don't contact anyone." So we was kept in there. We wasn't allowed to shower until like the day before we was to leave. They actually gave us showers. But it was just terrible. At that point, just watching the people that was in there, just watching the people that was locked in there and what they was doing to them, just like totally overshadowed what I was going through. My heart just like went out for those people. And actually, man, another convict, we gonna refuse. We gonna just try to, in the small way, try to just get some light shed on here. We'll take another beating, just so it can try to get out there. It can try to just somehow get out, that what's happening back here, because it was just ridiculous. And we tried several things to get the guards to come in, but they wouldn't come in.
The federal government has subsidized the building of what they call supermax prisons, and they're all over the country, and that's what's housing. I mean, you saw a unit. There are whole isolation prisons housing the mentally ill, so that some of the testimonies that we get from there, from a person saying, "I'm mentally ill, I'm sick, and this is what's happening to me," I feel what you're saying.
Yeah, it really hurt me to the core to see those people, go through the things that they was going through. And it hurt, and I think not at that time, but at that time I was aware. I was reading things, and I was just getting aware. So it was like things was touching me more.
Aware
of what was happening. Like it was just more to it. I started reading books, just reading these political books that just opened my eyes to it. Just like that was like a whole nother world in itself, that I was like, wow. And here I am contributing to this bullshit on the streets with, trying to defend the street that I don't own, that I don't even live on. And it was just like, I don't know, it was like things started changing. Things started changing in me. It was just hurting. And to this day, that's one of the things I regret, is participating in that stuff. Out there hurting my own people for just senseless reasons. And overall, that thing was that experience changed me. It changed me a lot. It really changed me a lot. And after I came back, I mean, it's like it made me more worse. I was always a convict that I could have made my time go by smooth. I actually got 3 more years while I was in prison for a fire, for a fire. And they prosecuted me, and I received 3 more years on top of that. And after that situation, it made me come back worse. I do things on the officers, and like I said, my experience, I could have made my time go smooth. But if I see a guard doing something to somebody, I just had the urge to speak up. Come on, why you gonna cut that man's stuff off? And one of the things that they didn't like was when you gang up. So when we sat there and ganged up, and was willing to go against him, that's when they'd do things like, for example, I was going out to the yard one time and they had opened another, they opened the blood door and tried to get it going back because they seen we was about to, rebel against them again. So they did that, and good thing the brother was aware that they opened this door because he was like, you know what they trying to do, right? I was like, yeah, I know. And he was like, man, close my fucking door. Close my fucking door.
The California prisoners now in Pelican Bay and Corcoran and a bunch of the other California prisons where they call it the gladiator fighting. They're now on food strike, hunger strike. Now protesting, the same kind of thing.